This is Chief Obidike Ajuluchuku of NigeriansTVOnline.com. It is you, Nigerians in America, and all other African brothers and sisters south of the Sahara. It is you that we are now focusing on. It is all Africans everywhere and all our friends, Africa's friends, that we're talking to. In particular, the Nigerians who were born in America, who barely know very much about what is going on in Nigeria. It is you that we are focusing on. You have no votes in Nigeria. You cannot vote. There are no absentee ballots for Nigerians in diaspora. And even though you cannot vote in Nigeria, we do know you have family. And many of our people, the people in Nigeria, have families, your family, that have no idea of what is going on within Nigeria, even though they should, because there are some good mediums that are there, good newspapers, of course, not too much, very many good other mediums. But you are the people we are speaking to. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. We are hoping that you're having a good day, working hard, studying, students, going to the office, driving in the traffics of America. Cold winter time. We are in February. This is day 2 of the postponement of the election in Nigeria. I wanted to share with you some of the things, the reports that we have on why the election was postponed. These sources of information are just information for you. We receive them from different sources, but we want you to know what is going on. One of the things that is taking place about this election, why did it happen? You know, we are going to continue to examine why can you are so familiar with on election day you go and vote, and all of a sudden the largest populated African country in all of the continent of Africa has an election day coming 7 days, and whoa, postponement of election. Why? Till today, day 2, there are still people who don't understand why. Allow me to give you a hand to understand why. Nigeria has 31 or 37 commissioners. Each commissioners of election represents each state. 21 of those resident elected commissioners, electoral commissioners, met with INEC, and they, at the end of the conclusion of their meeting, 21 resident election commissioners said no postponement. In a vote conducted Saturday by the INEC chairman, Atahiru Jega, professor, after he met with political parties and the civil societies, 21 said no, and that the election must continue as planned, while 16 others voted in support of a reschedule. So each state has a commissioner. Each state has a vote on whether the vote should go on. We do assume that those 21 commissioners and states have received the voter cards and have distributed it. So we will look at that, what is called the PVC, the voter registration card. So you got to have your voter registration card in order to participate. So if the commissioners of these states said yes, that the election must go on, I mean, come on, 21 said yes and 16 said no. Well, out of the 37 states. All right. We don't know if the 4 states in question that are under the attack by Boko Haram are any one of those states. 21 of those 21 of those states said yes. We do not know that. There's not yet a list of the 21 election commissioners who said no. So we don't know, or said yes. And if one of those 4 states that are under Boko Haram attack, but after 17 political parties voted for a postponement as against 11 that argued for INEC to remain faithful to its timetable. You kind of see that there's some confusions. 17 political parties. Now, this is just the party. This is not the states. But after consultation with INEC, 17 political parties. Now, your question is, I'm sure I can hear it coming. How many political parties are there? Whoa, quite a bit. Apparently, more than we have. But according to this, 28 political parties. And of those political parties, 17 voted for postponement as against 11 that argued for INEC to remain faithful to its timetable. So now you have a conflict. The election commissioners, more said to go ahead, but the political parties, more said no. Don't postpone the election. So now, here you have political parties that are saying postpone it, but commissioners are saying no. So who controls the process? The democratic process, the electoral process. Who controls it? That's what this is what is creating a problem. We do not see that here. We do not have that in America. The political parties have whatever they want to do, but those people that control the democratic process, the election in the United States, they just follow the rules and they go ahead and stay on a timetable. So, 17 political parties voted for postponement against 11 that said no. Stay on the timetable and continue the process. However, the question then became, will INEC capitulate to a demand by military and security chiefs asking for 6-week postponement? Today is day 2. On the presumed grounds that which appears to be spreading on a daily basis. So now you have other entities other than political parties that have something to say about if the election should go on or if the election should not go on. This is the civil society leaders. They had something different to say. They really organized in support of a credible and transparent election in Nigeria. So the civil societies are in support of going ahead with the election, but they organized to do that. They are the ones that are allegedly supposed to be, I don't know if they did very good job this time, but it appears that they are one that the international community is looking forward to make sure that they are as credible and transparent election in Nigeria. But, they're called Nigerian Civil Society, and they have a little acronym, Situation Room. Whoa. That Situation Room. But they reacted sharply after spreading the rumors are spreading now in Nigeria and blasting the security chiefs, accusing them of fomenting a surreptitious coup against democracy. Oh my God. Here we go. Some other hand in a pot of soup. Let's continue. This group, the senior officer, program officers at the Policy and Legal Advocate Center, this is another group, said the action of security chiefs amounted to blackmail, arm twisting the election management body away from its constitutional guaranteed function of conducting an election. Tomorrow we'll let you know what the Constitution says. In the it's basically there is some room for the Election Commission to make this postponement, but it's tainted somewhat. It seems to be something wrong, because this whole thing took place 7 days before the election, and that is what makes it hard. It's not to believe that this is in the best interest of the country. Now, what are the opposition people saying? You know, we've read sometimes already some things that the opposition group, especially the All Progressive Party, APC, has rejected any plan to postpone the election, saying such calls are sponsored by President Goodluck Jonathan and the ruling party to save their imminent defeat at the polls. Maybe, maybe not. But that's what the APC are saying, that the political party, from the office of His Excellency, President Goodluck Jonathan, Ebele Jonathan Goodluck, and the ruling party, they are the ruling party in Nigeria. So APC believes that they were on the brink of losing control of the country. And if they were on the brink of losing control of the country, they found a way to postpone the election. But that's what APC is saying. You know, we're also going to be giving you some ideas of what PDP, the People's Democratic Party, is saying. It's a two-way thing. There's a lot of them. Now, still the question remains, why? Why did it happen? Why was the democratic process circumvented? And people who were waiting and willing 7 days from 2 days ago to go and vote, why was this postponement entirely necessary? Well, INEC chairman Jega was prepared to challenge the need to deploy men and materials when security agencies had issued an advisory, made the commission postpone the election. Now listen to that. It is the security apparatus that decided that they were not ready to protect Nigerians at the polling place, and because of that, INEC decided to postpone the election. INEC says that they're not being forced to take this decision. That's what the chairman claims. Okay. But we also have reports that the chairman had said that he will resign, that he will rather resign than to postpone the election. We have that statement and we will give it to you very shortly. The chairman said that this is the decision that he had to take because that they were not pleasant decisions. You know, the guy is a very nice professor. You know, a lot of people like him. But they had to take that decision. Nobody forced us. Nobody was coerced. That to stand by this decision. Very conflicting thing. This is very conflicting. However, he admitted that with the new dates, the commission stands a better opportunity of fine-tuning some of its process. My goodness, you've had 3 years. You could have tuned this election process in so many ways. And I mean, as a mechanic, would you take your car to him, to fine-tune your car? If he could not fine-tune the electoral process, the democratic process, if he could not fine-tune it, how? Would you take your car to him? I don't know. Maybe you would. He claimed that the level of preparedness of the commission was better than it was in 2011. It was a mess in 2011. We all remember that. There are several things yet to be put in place. So you can actually say from 2011 to 2015, you have not been able to put everything in place that is necessary to conduct a fair and credible election. Whoa, how do you like that? Well, Vanguard, the newspaper that we all know about and love in Nigeria, cited sources revealed that training manuals for the Hawk staff are not ready. Listen to this. The training manual for the staff was not ready. Since 2011, you have not been able to put the training manual together. A big country like Nigeria with all the intelligence more intelligence that you can find in many different parts of the world, cannot put a manual together, an electoral manual. Oh, it hurts. It kind of hurts to hear this. You know, it's mind-boggling. I just don't believe it. But there's other points the Vanguard reported, including. Now listen to this. These are some reasons why the election was postponed. 700,000 ad hoc staff not recruited yet. Holy cow. How? You need 700,000 staff and you haven't recruited them. 7 days before the election, you have not. Oh my God! Can you believe that? Since 2011, could you not have been able to pull those staff together and retrain them since 2011? And so 7 days before the election, you're telling the world, you're telling the voters, you're telling Nigerians that 700,000 staff are not available. Ooh. Here's another good one. The voters card, PVCs, still being printed. I wonder where that was being printed. Oh, you didn't know? The voter cards are being printed abroad. That the whole of Nigeria cannot print the voters card. Where in abroad are the voters card being printed? You have to think about that. Now, I know most of you are just busy going to school, going to work, doing a lot of private things. So this is not important. But you should know that 7 days before the election, the voting cards were not being ready. Here's another one. The RECs, the voter registration cards have not been printed. Voter registration. So there are millions of Nigerians 7 days before the election who have not registered yet to vote. 700 staff are not ready. Cards are not ready, so voter cards are not even ready. So people are not registered. They don't have any card. 7 days before the election. You know, you have to ask yourself the question, did this chairman of INEC do a good job since he was appointed chairman of INEC? Brilliant man. But does he have the organizational skill? He may not have an organizational skill to pull people together to have all these problems. Now, the printers, well, here, you're going to like this. The printers for registering people to be able to vote is still in Abuja. Eh? Oh, Coco. No full complements of ballot boxes. In other words, there's not a full complement of ballot boxes. You know, you go to a polling place, there's no ballot box there. You haven't even registered. Well, here comes the other side of what Vanguard reports to the rest of the world, and I'll tell you, it's a little disappointing because it seems to reflect what most people say is one of the biggest problems in Nigeria. There were fake printing ink sent to states from headquarters. Fake printing ink that was sent to states from headquarters in Abuja, and so those state commissioners that said yes or may have said no rejected it. See the problem? You see many states yet to get balance of card readers. You know, there's a lot of problems. Card readers, you need to card. There's a card that reads it. You need generators. All these are all problems, but all these things should have been taken care of since 2011. The Presidential National Assembly election earlier stated that they will still hold the election. They said so. The government and state legislative election said that they will still hold the election. But now, that election has been moved. The National Assembly, as well as the President's election and National Assembly will be held on March 28 of 2015. The governorship and state legislative election will be held on April 11th, 2015. You see the problem? Let me put something together. Let me just put something together. From 2011 to now, you had so many things that are not in place for election to be conducted, a fair election. So many citizens do not have their ballots. All the problems that I read were still in place. Now, we've been told that by March 28, the military will conclude its operation in northeast Nigeria and that the election will be conducted. So you just have to ask the question, if the problem has not been solved since 2011, how are you going to solve it in 6 weeks? What are the risks? What are the chances, in fact, that when come the so-called, there is a limitation. And I think I'll read that to you later on. What I've heard is that it is possible that PDP and His Excellency are trying to postpone even the the March 28 election. If the March 28 election is postponed, what happens next? We will tell you that later. But I'd like to go ahead and conclude by telling you something that we were able to get from Universal Reporters. Jega, the commissioner of election, had all the money to conduct an election, had all the time to conduct an election, to get cards distributed. And it's too bad because Nigerian, we don't have addresses. So the department, what is it called? The INEC can't send you a registration to your home because we don't have addresses. You have all this money and you can't even get an address sent to your house, to your place of residence, so that you'll be able to register and send it back. No. That whole scenario needs to be looked on. How do you do that? I live in the Navy, or somebody live in Sokoto, or somebody live in Lagos. Well, how do you get your ballots? You need to get your ballots to be able to fill it out, or to get your registration card. How do you do it when you don't have a postal system? The chairman, in 2015, reported by a Sahara reporter, said that he will rather resign than postpone election. Here's the chairman of INEC saying that he will resign than postpone election. He will rather resign than postpone election. I just want you to hear that. And this was all that he said in between. But here's what it said, written. The chairman of the Independent National Election Commission, Professor Atahiru Jega, said that he will rather resign than postpone the February general election. He said nobody's demand, including other institutions, will make INEC to postpone the February general election as scheduled. He will appeal even a court order on this issue, and that only the Supreme Court order will make him postpone the election. Only the Supreme Court order will make him postpone an election. Did the Supreme Court of Nigeria make him postpone the election? Were they even included? You need to ask him that question, but we can tell you no. The Supreme Court was not included. But the sources close to INEC, of course, you know, they plead anonymity, told the Universal reporters that he would rather resign than to face humiliation by the act of postponement. That he would rather resign than to face humiliation by the act of postponement. You know, I think most of us would probably agree with him. Yeah. Will you resign, Mr. Chairman? Will you resign? Many people, many students, many people in America and diaspora would like to know. Now, I don't know if a lot of people at home know about this, but when I made the phone call, there's still some people who don't know that this election has been postponed. This is day 2. They don't know. They have no idea. I called. Obidike, what are you saying? I said, oh, your election has been postponed. Now lie, yo. 5 days from now, go to your polling place and see if you can vote. And if you do not get a chance to vote, you better start reading. You'll have to wait for another till March 11th. And of course, you know, for the local government chairman. The INEC chairman, when the story was going around against holding the election, made that same statement that he will resign. Well, we just kind of want to, Nigerian TV Online would just like to know, Mr. Chairman, it's your statement. It came out of your words that you would rather resign. But now have you capitulated to other sources? Who is to be blamed? The military? The government? Or you? That's the question Nigerians will have to answer. Nobody really knows what's going on. Maybe there are some fears that if the ruling party lose, many people will lose their job, including you. And as we understand it, 7 days already by a 50-50 possibility that General Muhammadu Buhari, APC, will be able to get their people and their governors elected. That is the democratic process. Please, it should have been left to the people to decide who wins and who loses. But at this point, it doesn't seem that the people matters. This is Chief Obidike Ajuluchuku. Does the people matter? We do not know. Until the next time, day 3, what's going on in Nigeria? So all of you who are all over in diaspora, in Sweden, yes, I called somebody in Sweden because there are organizations in Sweden, Nigerians in Sweden. You can even find Nigerians in Alaska. Yes, the ones in Sweden that I called this morning had no idea that the election has been postponed. Until we see you again tomorrow, this is Chief Obidike Ajuluchuku of Nigerian TV Online here at VPS Media Center, United States of America. God bless all of you. God bless Nigeria. God bless the people in particular.